How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I am your host, Trage. I'm glad to have you guys back here on this Thursday for some more Wisconsin sports talk. Brewers, they got an off day today, going to take on the Yankees this weekend. We're going to recap the series loss to the Pirates. We're going to talk about it. We're going to cover everything there has to do with Brewers. We didn't get into much yesterday talking about the Badgers, but we're going to jump into a lot of Brewers here today and just talk about what in the heck happened against the Pirates and what I think we need to do as an organization right now with this Brewers team to kind of put us over the top, because right now we are struggling. We cannot hit, and we need to fix that as fast as possible. With that, I'm going to jump right into the Brewers series. Lost there yesterday, a final of 5-4. The Pirates took care of them. Freddie Peralta did not pitch terrible in this game. 3 earned runs for him, 4 hits given up, 5 1/3, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run. Didn't have a strikeout stuff yesterday, but he was still consistent. He still pitched a quality outing for you. McGill came in then, 2/3 of an inning, finished it out for him in that inning. 1 hit, 2 Ks on the night or on the day for him. Elvis Peguero came in, took the loss for the Brewers then. 2 earned runs, 2 hits given up, 1 strikeout, 1 walk in 2/3 of an inning. Milner came in to shut it down there for Peguero. A third of an inning, 1 hit given up, 1 strikeout. And then Uribe went for an inning then at the end, 3 strikeouts for him. Uribe looked impressive out of the bullpen. This is where we're going to jump into what was the problem with the Brewers. And we're looking at Yelich, 1 for 4 on the game, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Contreras, 1 for 4. And I know that strike 3 called on William Contreras to end it was one of the worst calls I think I have seen in a long time out of an umpire. I mean, that thing, opposite batter's box, nowhere close to the strike zone. The catcher, Rodriguez, didn't even frame it that good. Gave him the strike 3. You got to know as an umpire, there's certain situations where you got to buckle down yourself and make calls more consistently. And in that game, the Brewers are now, if you look at the standings, a game and a half up on the Cubs. So looking at that, that was a crucial call right there. Contreras, 3-2 count, draws a walk there. Carlos Santana comes up. We don't know what the outcome would have been then, but still gives the Brewers life there with first and second, 2 outs. Instead, strike 3 called on a pitch. Contreras swings a pretty long bat, and I don't think he could even touch it if he would have taken a hack at that. That's how far it was out of the zone. So that one, his one strikeout of the game, I don't even count as a strikeout. But 1 for 4 for Contreras, 0 for 4 for Santana, 1 for 4 for Frelick, 2 for 4 for Adames. Adames, 3-run home run there early on for the Brewers, got him started there, and then had a late hit for the Brewers also. Canna came up with a big RBI for the Brewers there late, 2 for 3 on the day for Canna, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. Terang, 0 for 2 effort. Tellez came in as a pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Monasterio went 1 for 4, and Tyrone Taylor 0 for 4. Looking at the opposite side for the Pirates, Bay had the big RBI triple, 1 for 4 on the game. Reynolds 1 for 3. Hayes went 1 for 3. Sawinski 1 for 3. Andujar came in 1 for 1. And then Palacios went 1 for 4. Williams, shortstop, he went 1 for 2. And DeLay went 1 for 3 on the game. So, and pitching-wise, Selby got to him right away. 1 inning pitch, 3 earned runs. Willie Adames' home run was the big one for him. Falter came in then, shut down the Brewers, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Bolton came in then, 2 hits and 2 strikeouts for Bolton. And then got the win for him was Mito Zinski. 1 inning pitched. He had a solid outing. Then Holderman got the hold for him. 1 inning, 1 earned run. That was that Mark Canna RBI late. And Bender got the lucky strike 3 called. That's the only thing I call it, is lucky strike 3 called, because he was losing his command against William Contreras. And Bender got that call, strike 3, game over. Brewers lost the series. But I look at this series in 2 ways. Yes, that was a terrible way to end the series for the Brewers. They should have been able to produce runs against this Pirates pitching staff. But in a game like this, the offense wasn't really there for the Brewers. We're used to that. We're used to seeing that out of this Brewers team. What the Brewers team really strives on, though, is the bullpen holding them. The bullpen, Peguero came in, gave up those 2 runs. That ultimately was the big difference in this one late for this Pirates team to pick up the win here. The Pirates coming into this, they're a team playing with nothing to lose. And that's what gets kind of scary for this Brewers team, is that they have a lot of teams coming up with nothing to lose going down the stretch here. I mean, you look at teams like the Yankees, they're out of first place. There's nothing the Yankees can really do there in the East, the AL East, to take back the top. I mean, you got the Orioles, Blue Jays, and Rays holding up the top half there. Even the Red Sox are ahead of them. So you play a dangerous game here when you play teams like the Pirates, who were out of contention and they have nothing to lose. They have a bunch of rookies and younger guys trying to earn playing time for next year. So they're just going balls to the walls now. They have nothing to lose. They're not playing for a playoff spot. They're loose. They're not tense anymore. They played a good series here. I mean, so you have the Yankees then. Then you play the Marlins in a 4-game set there. Marlins in the playoff picture very much so, but fighting for a wild card spot. Another team that's desperate for wins, just like the Brewers are. So this could be a series where you might even it back out. And then you look at playing the Nationals. That's another team, nothing to lose. Then you play the Cardinals. That's a team the Cardinals would love nothing more than to see the Brewers fail to win the NL Central and fail to make the playoffs just like them. So the Cardinals are dangerous, especially going to Busch Stadium there for that 4-game set, followed by the Marlins again. And then you play the Cardinals one more time in Milwaukee before you get the Cubs to end that season, or to end the season here. And that's where they are playing a lot of teams late, where it's almost better to play in contention teams versus playing teams that are out of it. Yankees, Nationals, Cardinals, all teams that are out of the picture. They're so far out that they don't care what goes on anymore. They're just playing for next season. Their rookies are playing for a spot on the team next year. Their pitchers are pitching for a spot or a contract in the next year. And that's a relief for teams like that, is we don't have to worry. We're just out here. We're just playing baseball. We're getting our paycheck. We're trying to get our paycheck for next year. We're trying to get playing time for next year. And that's where danger comes in for contending clubs. And these teams will play spoiler for the Brewers if this offense does not pick it up here late. So that's where I am at right now, is I am really worried, looking at in that perspective, that the Brewers are playing teams that are out of contention and just have that ability still. I mean, the Yankees, you still have some decent hitters in that lineup. And the Marlins, they're on contention right now. They have some dang good hitters, some dang good pitching. Washington Nationals, they have some pesky hitters. Cardinals, Goldschmidt, Arenado, you still have those guys you have to face. The pitching staff isn't as good, but you still have to face some of the big dogs there in the batting order. And then the Marlins, again, Cardinals, Cubs, this is dangerous sledding time right now for the Brewers, especially with only a 1.5-game lead over the Cubs there. I called it a week ago. I said that series against the Cubs, come the last series of the season for the Brewers, that is going to be for all the marbles. Whether the Cubs are up a game in the division, whether the Brewers are up a game or 2 or whatever it is in the division there, it's going to come down to that series, and the Brewers will be in a do-or-die situation. I think with the NL Central, and people like to say the NL Central really isn't that good, but you look at the wild card picture, and the winner and the second place team in the NL Central are still in the wild card picture right now. So that's why I don't understand. I mean, you have right now with the NL Central, everybody says the NL Central sucks. Terrible division, worst division, one of the worst divisions in all of baseball. Yet the Brewers are one of the top teams in the NL at a 77-62 record. And then you have 2 teams that are in second and third in the NL Central right now, in the Cubs and the Reds, the Reds are sitting a half a game back of that third wild card spot behind the Marlins. And the Chicago Cubs are sitting 3.5 up of the Marlins right now in that wild card race. So that's where the NL Central, I don't think it's really that bad. I don't think the NL Central is that bad at all. I mean, the Phillies are the next best team in the NL East right now, and they're sitting at a 77-62 record on the season. They're behind the Brewers right now, are tied with the Brewers actually record-wise, and the Cubs are behind them there, and they're in the second wild card spot. So the NL Central isn't that bad a division. It's just that tight. Teams are beating the crap out of each other. They're going out of division, getting the crap beat out of them, or beating the crap out of other teams and hanging around there with some of the big dogs. So that's where I'm seeing right now is that the Brewers have some tough sledding coming up here over the next week and then leading up into that Cubs series to end the season. But with that, I want to jump into an interesting topic, something that interests me with the Brewers, and that is the lack of the use of the bench with the Brewers right now. And I said it a couple days ago, and then I did see a article on it earlier, and that was Rowdy Tellez. And they were talking about Rowdy Tellez and his lack of being used lately by the Brewers. And looking at him since he came back to this Brewers team, the Brewers need a power hitter right now. They don't have a power hitter. They need a power hitter. Rowdy Tellez has been hitting the crap out of the ball since he came back, and I don't know why he hasn't getting the playing time. You look at in the first month of the year, he hit 247, 8 home runs, and then he had a lot of bad luck in there, a lot of balls right at guys, and then he started to struggle, started to go down. But then you look at I was looking at it, and there's a key stat for him right now. And they looked at the metrics, and they said, looking at him right now, his hard hit is 95 plus right now. That's about, in 2021, this figure was 48.1. For 2023, he's under 40%. Early in the year, it was breaking balls, and his speed of his bat right now is what was causing him. But as of late for Rowdy Tellez, his hard hit ball rate is actually going up. And that's where I'm looking. So why is Rowdy Tellez all of a sudden, okay, so he's starting to hit the ball hard. We're seeing that. But we expect Rowdy Tellez to be able to come in off the bench here. He's not going to play for 4 days, 5 days. But we expect him to be able to come off the bench, and he's just going to deliver with that knockout punch there into the gap. And we get upset. Oh, well, he lined out to the second baseman, or he lined out to left field. I mean, I said it a couple times now where he's come in and late in the game, liner. He's hitting line drives right at guys. Okay, but why does that not sustain more playing time for a guy like Rowdy Tellez here? He's not striking out right now. His strikeouts are not his biggest failure right now. He came back, had a big 4 RBI night against the Padres. I would like to see Rowdy Tellez here come September implement him more into this lineup for the Brewers and just see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that happens with this Brewers team right now? They are struggling all around, mightily all around struggling. I mean, right now, Christian Yelich is in a slump. He is in a bad slump. And I don't know if he's going to break out of it by the end of the season. Right now, he was leading the team in batting average for the longest time. Now he's dropped actually down to 274 on the season here. That is a struggle. We watched him go all the way up to almost 290, and now he's back down to 274, and that average just keeps continuing to go down game after game. And then Craig Counsell goes, oh, well, we'll just give him 1 day off, and then maybe we'll throw him in the DH role. And the top spot of the lineup. You know how many times Christian Yelich has come up with a big spot here? Look at just yesterday against the Pirates there. Monasterio leads off the inning, line drive into left center field or right center field base hit. Okay, run around. We got a guy on. Here we go. 1-run game. Brewers got Tyrone Taylor coming up, then the top of the order. That's where you want to be. You want to have the top of the order coming back up. Tyrone Taylor, line drive into right field, caught. I mean, that ball was sent on a missile. He missed it by a little bit, get into a gap. He missed it there, hit it right at I can't remember who the heck was playing right field for the Pirates, but that doesn't matter. Hit a missile at him, out number 1. Yelich comes up, strikeout. He was defeated before he got into that box against Bender. And that's what I'm talking with Christian Yelich right now. You keep him in the leadoff spot, and that's great. That's where Yelich has been the most successful. And I understand that 100%. But my leadoff guy, When I have the top of the order coming back up right now, especially the way Major League Baseball is going, it's an offensive-oriented league. And we are batting. Look at our batting order. Look at our batting averages right now. Our top of the order implements a guy right now who is slumping. When a guy slumps, I have seen throughout the years of baseball, when a guy slumps, he gets moved in the batting order. We don't keep him there, we move him. We watched Willy Adames. Everybody got so irritated with Willy Adames. And I agree. I still am irritated with Willy Adames. I thought he was finally finding something when he came back, played the Rangers, had a couple series there where he looked like he was hitting the ball a little bit better. I was excited. Yet Willy Adames is back. But now I'm seeing the flip side of it again. Struggling again. But we yelled about Willy Adames. Well, why is he in the 4 role right now? He's struggling. He sucks. Why is he in the 4 role? Why is Christian Yelich still at the top of the order? Why? It doesn't make sense to me. If you look at his stat lines, he has drawn 70 walks on the season so far. Okay, his walk ratio is decent, but you look at his strikeouts, 129. 129 strikeouts, and I guarantee you look at it as of late. If we throw his stats on as of late here, pulling up the stats for Christian Yelich here. As of the last 7 games, 12 strikeouts. 3 walks to go with those 12 strikeouts. In his last 15 games, 9 walks to go with his 23 strikeouts. 179 average in the last 15, 120 in the last 7, 233 in the last 30 games. He's been struggling. We just haven't noticed it as much. Why? And I said it a couple weeks ago. Or I might have been even a week ago. I said it. I said it plain as day. Yelich is struggling, but we're not noticing it as much right now because the rest of the offense is hitting. Plain and simple. We didn't need Yelich right then, and I thought that was a good thing. Yelich could have a little bit of a struggle, but the rest of the offense was going to pick it up. The rest of the offense has started to cool off. We had Tyrone Taylor against the Rangers to bank on. I mean, Tyrone Taylor was a man on fire down there. We had him to bank on in that series. We didn't worry about Christian Yelich. Tyrone Taylor was doing it all. We didn't need to have Christian Yelich hitting the ball. We need Christian Yelich to start hitting the ball again. We need a consistent hitter in that leadoff spot, somebody to get on base. You have William Contreras coming up constantly with either 1 out, 2 outs, nobody on. The bottom of the order gets on, and Christian Yelich gets out at the top, or he grounds out. I mean, how many times have we watched Christian Yelich ground into a double play right away? I don't know what the best answer is right now, but I'm telling you, at leadoff spot, that leadoff spot is so detrimental to this team right now. And with Christian Yelich there, the way he's struggling as of late, it's not helping this Brewers team. I don't know if moving a guy like Sal Frelick to the top, that's going to answer all of our problems, but it won't hurt. It really won't. I thought Mark Canha was a decent option for at the top. Mark Canha has been one of the most consistent hitters for the Brewers as of late here. And just to pull up his stats, compare him to what we've been seeing out of Yelich, and that I don't understand why Craig Counsell does it. He works lineups, but he doesn't work them like you would think. He works the bottom of the order. He implements different guys into the bottom half there, but he never moves his top 2. I mean, we go week by week here, and it's Christian Yelich, William Contreras. That's your top 2. If Yelich got a day off, like the other day, Mark Canha batted in the leadoff spot. But other than that, those 2 stay at the top. I understand William Contreras. Yelich, the way he's struggling, is the leadoff spot really what makes Yelich go? Or can we move him around? Can we drop him down for a little bit? Can we get him out of that high leverage role at the top and get him towards the bottom of the order where maybe he even gets better sitting at the bottom of the order? I mean, you look at a guy like Mark Canha. I just got his stats pulled up here. Last 7 games, 391 average. Last 15, 380 average. Last 30 games, 314 average. Mark Canha is batting 6th for this Brewers team. He bats 5th for this Brewers team. Sometimes he gets in the cleanup role, but he's batting at the bottom of your order. And he's one of your top hitters right now, and he's batting towards the bottom. Doesn't make sense to me. But that's where I want to lead with this conversation is the lack of the bench use right now. Brian Anderson is a complete, I'm trying to think of the best word for it. Right now, and I like Brian Anderson. I like him as a player. I think he's got a great defensive. He's got a great glove, great arm. I think his bat's there. He's a hot and cold hitter, but who isn't on this Brewers team a hot and cold hitter? But with Brian Anderson, right now, his roster spot is a waste because since August 22nd, Brian Anderson has not played. Now, if Craig Counsell's holding something back from us and Brian Anderson's having back problems again or something, that needs to come out because right now, Brian Anderson has not played in a game. Why? I don't know. It baffles me. Why? What do you expect out of Brian Anderson there? If Brian Anderson doesn't get playing time, how do you expect him to come into a game here if you just randomly play him against the Yankees? How do you expect Brian Anderson to come into that game against the Yankees and produce for you? How do you really expect that? You're not giving these bench guys any time in the field. You're rotating a couple guys in and out, but you look at guys, and I was talking to one of my good friends that I talked to about the Brewers, and we were talking about some of the lack of guys that the Brewers got to this point with, and they've just gone away from them. And you look at guys like Owen Miller, who was up for the Brewers for the longest time to start the season, had a 300 average, dropped down to 280 for a little bit, stuck at that 280 average. He was a consistent hitter for the Brewers. Then all of a sudden he started to struggle in the month of July, and they said, okay, enough's enough. We're going to let you go down to the minor leagues. We don't want to deal with you. Sent him down there. He hit good in the minor leagues. They brought him back up here, and now he is sitting at a 262 average, but he doesn't see the field. You don't get Owen Miller out there. Yesterday we saw him in a defensive substitution role because they pinch hit for Terang, so Owen Miller came in to play second base. I love Terang's glove at second base. I really do. I love having Terang out there for the defensive purposes. But this is an offensively driven league now. Your defense can do a lot. Your defense is going to save runs in a certain aspect. But you get into a series against the Braves or the Dodgers, you're going to have to slug with them. The Braves are going to score. They're going to score against, if you have Corbin Burns on the mound, if you have Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta, the Braves are going to score runs. The Dodgers are going to score runs. It's undeniable. They're going to do it. It's just a matter of when. And if you can bounce back from giving up that 3-run fifth inning, can your offense survive that and get you runs back? And that's where I think the Brewers will lack. We go with the defensive lineup, and I get it. You want to play some solid defense. Terang, love him at second base. He's a gold glove second baseman. I will hold that. He's a gold glove second baseman. Put him at short. He's a gold glove shortstop. He's a gold glove wherever you put him in the infield. But he does not have a bat. Doesn't have a bat he brings to the party. Not a consistent bat. Owen Miller would not be a bad guy to try there at second base. Would not be a bad guy to try. Even on off days, give Carlos Santana a day off at first. Give Owen Miller a shot right there. Move Andrew Monasterio over to second. Put Owen Miller at third. Or move Monasterio to shortstop. Give Willy Adames a day off here. Willy Adames' bat's not good enough that you can't give him a day off. So put Monasterio at shortstop and put Owen Miller in that lineup. Put Brian Anderson in the lineup. Try different things with these bench guys. The guys who have gotten you to this point. Joey Wiemer, I would love to say I'd want to see Joey Wiemer back in this lineup, but Joey Wiemer's bat has been struggling, and I don't know what's going to get him over that hump. I think he's got a lot of mechanical things to fix in his swing before that swing gets back to what it should be. But I just don't understand the usage of players on this Brewers team and why we give so much leash to guys like Willy Adames, who has been struggling all season long. He's a clubhouse guy. Oh, yeah, he's a clubhouse guy. Gotta love him. He's a fan favorite. Great, he's a fan favorite. But do these Brewers owners and management and everything really look at the guys they have on the field and say, this is the best nine I can have out there today? Is this the best nine I can really have out there? I don't think so. I don't think they have gone a day where they have had truthfully the best nine on the field at the same time. They are lacking in the ability to throw guys out there who could give us a better chance. Owen Miller, I will take Owen Miller's bat over Bryce Terang's bat right now any day of the week. Glove-wise, Bryce Terang. Bat-wise, Owen Miller. Any day. Rowdy Tellez right now, the way he's hitting the ball, hard hit balls all over the infield, I don't know how you can't implement him into the lineup in some way, shape, or form here going in the late. And then you look at guys the Brewers have had up and have sent down. Abraham Toro. I talk about him constantly, but I don't understand why Abraham Toro. If Brian Anderson's not going to play on this Brewers team, send him down to AAA. Bring up Abraham Toro and let Abraham Toro play up in the big leagues for the rest of the year. 8 for 18 is his season for the Brewers in the major league level, a 444 average, 2 home runs, and 9 RBIs. That's a solid stat line. That's a guy that I don't even understand how you could have sent that down to AAA and not given a second chance at the big league club. He had to have said something to the wrong person. But that's a guy that can play third base. He's a third baseman. You put Abraham Toro at third, Terang can slide over the shortstop, and Monasterio can play second base. Bam, there's your infield. I mean, there's just so many things that the Brewers could do that they lack in the ability to do, because I don't know if their tunnel vision is on, or they're trying to appease certain people up in upper management. They're trying to appease certain fans, or I don't know what it is, but the Brewers have a problem in their offense, and it will not be fixed unless if they go and try to implement different ways into this lineup, or different players into this lineup, and try to work it around a little bit. You have to at some point use what got you there. And they what got him to this point in the season. Brian Anderson early on was a dominant hitter for this team. Got hurt, came back. Monasterio's been a mainstay since then. I don't think you take Monasterio out at any means, but guys like Brian Anderson, Rowdy Tellez, Owen Miller, they got us to where we are. They've been a big part of this Brewers team this year, and they don't see the field at the end. And that's where I just don't understand it, because it would be different if they didn't see the field, but the guys in front of them were producing runs and producing like it's nothing, but they're not. And that's where my problem is with the Brewers, is that we are just letting it ride with guys who are struggling. A 217 from Terang, a 212 from Adames. That's not a solid hitter, if you ask me. And I think there's better options, or more options the Brewers could at least try throughout the next couple weeks. What's it going to hurt throwing Brian Anderson, Rowdy Tellez, or Owen Miller into a lineup? What's it really going to hurt? I mean, we've seen some of these lineups he throws together for this team. What's it going to hurt to have them guys in this lineup? It's not. It really isn't. So that's just my thought with the Brewers as of right now, and where they are sitting as of right now. But with that, I want to jump around the league real quick and just check out some of the scores from yesterday. Cubs, like I said, game and a half back of the Brewers now. They got the win over the Giants, 8-2. Guardians beat the Twins 2-1. Brewers lost, like we said, 5-4. Athletics took care of the Blue Jays 5-2. The Diamondbacks beat the Rockies 12-5. Phillies beat the San Diego Padres 5-1. Mariners beat the Reds 8-4. The Red Sox lost to the Rays 3-1. The Marlins beat the Dodgers 11-4. The Mets lost to the Nationals 3-2. Yankees beat the Tigers 4-3. The Cardinals beat the Braves again 11-6. Like I said, desperate teams do something different when it comes down to it, and that's not a desperate team, but a team with nothing to lose does crazy things come the end of the season. And the Cardinals have taken a couple games from the Braves. They beat Spencer Strider today, put up some crazy numbers on him. I mean, 4 in the first, 2 in the third, and then they scored some runs late there, but they put up some numbers on Spencer Strider in that one. Royals lost to the White Sox there 6-4, and the Astros beat the Texas Rangers 12-3. Scherzer got roughed up in that one. A matchup of the ex-Mets, Verlander versus Scherzer, and Verlander got the win for the Astros. But with that, that is about all I wanted to tap into for the show today. Just talk a little bit of Brewers and just what we're seeing here heading into a weekend clash with the Yankees. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trades. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces, Brew Crew.